Sinton Drive and Boyette Road. It's the asphalt pavement being replaced with concrete at 301 and Gibsonton Drive. They're repaving from Witt Road to Rivercrest Drive in Hillsborough County. Also, Progress Boulevard is closed both east and westbound between South 85th and 78th for some drainage work. Tammy Bennett, News Radio, WFLA.
Tracking our first taste of fall here in the Bay Area. A gorgeous start to the day with low temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. Lower dew points will keep things comfortable throughout most of the day. High temperatures will still warm up into the upper 80s, but we're below average for this time of year, and that lower humidity keeps things comfortable. Mix of sun and clouds generally throughout your Saturday with a 20% chance of a few showers popping up through the later afternoon and evening hours. We keep things beautiful and comfortable through your Sunday as well. I'm Max Defender 8 meteorologist Juliana Mejia.
Remembering Charlie Kirk, I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. Political leaders from both parties mourning the loss of the conservative activist who was assassinated on a Utah college campus at the age of 31 earlier this week. Speaking from the headquarters of Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, his widow, Erica Kirk, thanking Vice President J.D. Vance for flying her husband's casket home to Arizona on Air Force Two.
I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home.
Turning Point USA, a group dedicated to promoting conservative politics among high school and college students. The suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, in custody in connection to the shooting. The trial of the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump at his golf course in Florida almost a year ago underway. Fox's Jonathan Seri with more.
Against the recommendation of the court, Ryan Ruth is representing himself with mixed results. Whenever he goes off on tangents unrelated to the case, Judge Eileen Cannon intervenes, as she did during Ruth's rambling opening statement on Thursday. But the defendant's cross-examinations of prosecution witnesses have been so brief and sometimes non-existent, court adjourned a couple hours early because the prosecution has simply run out of witnesses available today. Ruth's daughter Sarah, who attended the trial all week, told a reporter, "I think he's doing pretty good considering he's sick." The defendant has been coughing and wiping his nose, earlier complaining about not getting enough sleep while he's being held in protective custody.
The trial resumes next week. And a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck near the east coast of Kamchatka, Russia. A tsunami threat for the region was issued earlier, but that has since been lifted. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak about going the wrong way. But let me be clear. The wrong way means the wrong way of doing business. This includes gimmicks, games, and unfulfilled promises. Tactics you will never ever find at Bartow Ford. For over 73 years, we've been doing business the right way. So on your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. Come to Bartow Ford and see why we're different, and we prove it.
Down the free iHeart app, Farrah and Farrah may send your comments lightning fast. Tap the red light, hit send. Injured, make it a Farrah fun. Call Farrah and Farrah now, Tampa. I'm Mr. Sparky. We're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electric system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk for the dark ultraviolet. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts and Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Owned and operated. Licensed from the respective state or county.
Hey anglers, the best fishing charters in the Bay Area out of Hubbard's Marina on the boardwalk at Johns Pass. Hubbard's Marina has been catching fish since 1928. They offer everything from family-oriented half-day trips to the more advanced overnight trips. Nobody in the business does big group party fishing like Hubbard's Marina. They also have a great tackle store that can provide live bait and tackle to fish from their boats or from Johns Pass Bridge. So for the best cheeseburger on the Gulf, book your trip today at 727-393-1947 or go to hubbardsmarina.com.
The following is a commercial program paid for by Real Animals Fishing. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WFLA AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, talking fishing this morning. on this beautiful Saturday morning with my good buddy, Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters, Captain Charlie Howell from Ebb and Flow Charters, and enjoying another beautiful day inside beautiful Tampa Bay on this quarter moon weekend. It is a little bit of a slower moving tide this weekend. We're coming into a good bout. We're in the middle of a good bout of bad weather, moderate to severe bad weather, depending on where you're fishing, I should say. Offshore, it's been real challenging. The guys in the bay and around the land-based side of things have been faring better with the weather. We're on the tail end of our gag grouper season. And this weekend, really through a majority of this coming work week into the coming weekend, we still have that moderate wind and pretty funky atmosphere. We've been in this trend almost all summer of these tropical systems, these depressions kind of forming on top of us. And it's weird. It's been a weird start to our tropical season. As most know, hurricane season jumps off June 1st. We haven't had any real big threats to our area, which has been nice. But the change is we have all these systems that keep trying to develop on top of us. And that's kind of rare. I mean, most of the time during a tropical season, that might happen 1, 2, 3 times. I feel like it's happened at least a half dozen times since June 1st to us. I mean, we lost July 4th weekend to a tropical depression forming on top of us, the beginning of June, which is pretty common. We always get something in the beginning of June. And it's just been a weird run. And this gag season, it seems like almost the whole season we've had something trying to develop on top of us.
There is a gag season? Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's been a wild run for sure, weather-wise. This week looks much the same. You're going to have to check the weather every day because the forecast is essentially useless. And unfortunately, it's no one's fault. It's really difficult to kind of forecast what's going on with these things as these frontal boundaries and this depression kind of just stalled on top of us, dumping rain. So it really depends on where those storms are as to what the weather will actually do. But if you look at the buoys, there's these buoys out in the Gulf, and they show the historical data. It's pretty interesting to watch the disparity between the forecast and what's actually happened. And when I say interesting, I mean infuriating, because for us offshore fishermen who are trying to get out there to deep water, I mean, for example, on the morning of the 9th and 10th, it was almost more than double what was forecasted. They were calling for, 2-foot seas, and it was almost 5-foot seas there. On the 10th and 12th, it's been a really crazy run of just totally different weather than what's been forecasted.
Yeah, it's been brutal. If you were watching like on a lot of the apps, you can switch through the different forecast models.
Mm-hmm.
The icon was like dead on. It was just like it was just blowing for days and days and days on end. And then if you looked at the GFS model, it was completely opposite. And it was showing you it was going to be 10 knots or less or whatever, and it was going to be beautiful. But we kind of learned our lesson, and after about the 4th butt whipping in a row, we tended to side with the icon.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, at least for me, I always look at the different forecasts, and when they don't agree, it's a really good sign that they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not a good sign for us. When you switch through the different forecasts and they all agree, all right, we have a pretty solid idea of what's going to happen. Generally, the forecast is pretty close to what actually happens when all the forecasts are in agreement. When the forecasts are not in agreement, that's when you have to kind of throw a red flag and be like, I don't know what's going to happen today.
We got a couple of new buoys out there. Those tsunami test buoys that they have out there. There's one about 20 miles, and there's another one out by the elbow. And both of those are online.
Yeah.
And you can look at the Comp's website has them, and you can look at the updates. I just looked at the 20-mile buoy just a little bit ago. It was 17 gusting to 21. So.
Yeah, you're going to have to show me those.
But it'll give you that 20-mile forecast. It updates every hour just like the other ones do. But.
The buoys are a little bit behind, too. The CPID and the NOAA buoys seemingly are generally between 3 to 4 hours behind.
This one's every hour.
Yeah.
Every hour it updates.
That's awesome.
Yeah. they're doing a good job. They just put those out there not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, we are blessed in Tampa Bay because we are home to the home office of the Southeast Regional Office of NOAA. We're home to the office, the FWRI, the Florida Wildlife Research Institute, which is the science branch of FWC. And then we have this huge innovation district downtown St. Pete, and they house like an incredible amount of oceanic and atmospheric study groups and like these contractor groups, and a lot of the contracted science that happens in the Gulf and really across most of our oceans happens right here in St. Pete. It's crazy. I forget the number, but it's in the B's, the billions, that's funneled through there for scientific research. Like all those little red drone ships that were cruising around, those were all launched out of Bareborough Harbor. Yeah, out of that innovation district. So
there's a bunch more than that too. Hickman does. He's got some stuff going with USF.
Yeah,
and they've got gliders that they put out.
The little surfboards.
Yeah, they're crazy, but they go underwater.
Yeah,
and they're just gone. They disappear, and then they come popping up somewhere else.
They're doing thermocline research, I believe.
I think it's got something to do with currents and stuff like that. Yeah, they're doing a lot of different research, but they'll put those things out, and they may have one that malfunctions, and Chad's like, yeah, I got to go get one, and it's 80 miles offshore. He's got to go jump in the boat, and they got to drive all the way out there and pick this thing up and bring it in the boat.
It's crazy.
Put in a new one, and then they throw that one in the water, and it takes off, and nobody sees it for a month or whatever, and then. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, because I believe a lot of the research that is going on now is they know a lot about surface currents and they know a little bit about bottom currents, but those different levels in the water column can have different traversing currents. And so they do these CMAP trawl surveys of these age 0 and age 1 fish, these little larval stage fish. But the big question is, all right, if you have a big recruitment event, like you have a large biomass of adult snapper, for example, red snapper in a certain area, and they spawn out, those spawn are just microscopic little baby fish, right? And so they're deposited in the current, and then where do those fish end up? Where do those fish recruit to? And so they do these current studies to try to estimate where that population lands. It's really interesting stuff. So the more they know about the water column and the different currents in that water column and the thermocline and stuff like that, they'll be able to better estimate where those fish deposit. And also at algae and all the other things that they want to know moves around. But I mean, we care about the fish, right?
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a woman, Mandy, I'm going to butcher her last name, Canas. I don't know. Mandy K. Yes. She was at the Marine Recreational Education Program. She did that oceanic studies thing, and she does a couple slides on just that, fish spawn cycles and where those eggs go. It's so interesting. What happens in the Western Gulf can affect the Eastern Gulf, and what happens in the Caribbean can affect the Gulf. It's
some of that stuff is just like, it blows your mind. But and it's hard to swallow it, and I'm not like all the way on. You know what I mean? Because I think about it like this: they say the gags, they'll spawn out there, and then the eggs will get washed with the current back into the bays and stuff like that, right? Well, why don't we have red snapper back in the bay? Like, what happens to their eggs? How come their eggs don't get washed back in the bay?
It's something about the larval stage and how quick they drop. And where they recruit to, because those little babies, those little microscopic things have I guess, instincts or wherever you want to say to deposit in different areas. It's pretty interesting, but I see your point and I agree. Thinking about it, because there's some fish like mangrove snapper, gags that recruit into the back bays where things like red snapper or tilefish, for example, only stay out there in the mud in 200 plus foot of water.
Right. That's probably what it is too, is the depth of the water that they release in, takes it one way or this way, and go with the different current.
You start thinking about it. It's like, for example, snook go out on the beach during the summer and then go into the back bay in the winter. Like what causes this silly fish that has a brain the size of a pea to know what time of year it is, right?
Well, the other thing that really solidified it for me is the gag spawn and they're the aggregate spawner. And so their time of year, and then their eggs go flushing back into the bay. Red grouper being a batch spawn, and they spawn the same time of the year, but their eggs don't go back in the bay.
Yeah, I think
red grouper don't. Gags do.
I think a lot of it, too, is the science. We think we know what's going on with the science, but all the time, almost every stock assessment, there's some big revolution like, oh, we thought it this way historically, but now it's actually like this, we found out. And I feel like that's happening with almost every species. In gags, for example, they're just now starting to spend a lot of money on gags in the last 5 years since the overfishing and underfish, or undergoing overfishing and overfish designation. And while that's super annoying, it's also positive in the fact that when that happens, all of a sudden a bunch of funding is released to study that species. And one thing you mentioned is they've always thought gags were aggregate spawners that get together in big groups and only spawn certain times in certain areas. But what some people are claiming is they're more like batch spawners, and they can do spawns more frequently, maybe even outside of their historical spawning season. So I don't know.
That's when you get 2 week seasons.
Because they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
One day at a time. But long story short, getting back to the weather, it is definitely a little bit more moderate, and chance for rain is still pretty high. It might dry out a little bit for us over the next couple days. We've got a little bit of a north wind sliding through for the next 4 days, so should get a little less humid, but we still have that chance for rain still hanging around as these atmospheric conditions are unstable. Barometer's moving a lot. We're on a quarter moon coming into a new moon here next weekend, end of next weekend, Sunday. So tides should get better as we move through the week, and hopefully the weather will get better as we move into later weekend. We see in the forecast a sliver of some nice weather coming up, and just keeping our fingers and toes crossed we finally see some of that. But this weather report was brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors. Remember, they're Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for a warranty when you sell your home, and that warranty transfers to the new owners, adding value to the home as well. Visit reesewindows.com for more info. We've got Captain Mike Perry from Big Pine Tree on the line after this. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 is the phone number to join the conversation. Real Animals Radio will be right back.
Finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust, a company that is clean, honest, trustworthy, reasonably priced, and shows up on time. Captain Mike Anderson here for Titan Plumbing.
I mean, it was a little bit less, but holy cow. I mean, but now I don't have to worry about putting wood up on the windows anymore, at least.
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
No, you might want to protect your 20 grand with some wood.
Well, apparently, if anything happens to them, they come out and replace the window for free, so.
Really?
That's what they tell me.
I always end up focused on the marina
Yeah.
and protect the marina, and then by the time I'm done prepping Hubbard's Marina and Don's Dock and all those places for hurricanes, I get home and I'm like, she'll be all right.
Yeah.
So I don't end up doing anything in my house, and I don't have hurricane windows, but I have just a step below it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty highly rated, but not crazy rated. And man, I've been really blessed, and I haven't really dealt with anything. The Irma, when it came through, I didn't replace my windows. I had like some original windows.
Yeah.
And my big front picture window in the front of the house, and Irma had that strong north wind, was this old piece of junk window. And dude, I was nervous.
Yeah.
It was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm sitting there, and that window is flexing. And I was like, oh my God, this is bad. And I didn't have any problems there. And then once I replaced the windows, I haven't had any problems. So
Yeah. That was the first storm
I'm feeling
that I
confident about those.
boarded up for.
Yeah.
That's because my wife was pregnant, and she was like, no, we're boarding up the windows. I was like, yes, ma'am. So I boarded
I
up the
feel
windows.
like after a while, like if you do it a handful of times, like you just set it up to where, like I can board up all my bottom floor windows in like
Yeah. Because everything's
30 minutes.
Measured. You just
Yeah,
pop
everything
them
is
in
just
and-
like, oh, this is this one. Bink, you put it up there, chink, 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 chink. You got tap cons and everything like that.
And the hole's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's ready. Like you just put it up and drill it in. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and everything's labeled and everything like that. It's just a matter of finding a place to store all of it.
Mine's all the way in the back. of my
And then
shed.
making sure the wood doesn't rot in between hurricane seasons.
You pull it out and it's all moldy and soft.
Up against the side.
That might actually, now that I think about it, I could get rid of that wood. It's taking up about that much space in my shed behind all my rods and other stuff that never gets moved. Except the once a year when I got to clean the shed out and it's pulling all that stuff out. And
we're not going to get anything from Africa this year, huh?
One can hope.
It's going to come from the Gulf if it comes.
Hey, man. Hopefully it comes from nowhere.
Yeah. We're getting closer.
We are just through halfway, boys.
Yeah.
We still got a whole second peak.
Yeah.
We're a long way from the finish line.
Yeah, I hate those feelings. It's miserable.
Yep.
I still can't believe all the amount of people, man. I talk to my customers and stuff, they got their own boats and they're just like, no trailer. Like, I'm just like, didn't you learn your lesson? Like, what's it going to take?
Yeah.
Your boat to end up in your neighbor's pool?
We're back. Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning on News Radio 970 WFLA. Hopefully hear from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 is the phone number if you want to join the conversation. Want to give a shout out to our friends over there at Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant inside Fish Famous Johns Pass. If you haven't stopped by the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant anytime recently, you're missing out. The ownership has changed back over. The Hubbard family, Hubbard's Marina, has taken back over. And it's a lot of fun over there, man. I am not personally involved in the restaurant, but I sure do eat there a lot. And they've got some really good deals, some really incredible seafood purveyors, so some fresh seafood, local stuff. They've got the best fish bread around. They've got now a bacon-wrapped scallop dish that's insane. They've got a cobia special running this month. You can get 8-ounce section of cobia, or you can get the cobia tacos. And they do tacos in such a way where they've got a mango chutney on top of it. And I don't know exactly what a chutney is, but all I know is it's really yummy. You can throw a chutney on whatever you want, and I'll eat it.
Because is chutney like a fancy word for salsa?
I'm pretty sure that's all it is. I'm, again, not my area of expertise, but it is pretty legit. Last month, they had a yellowtail special, and it was the same taco with a mango chutney. And, man, it was fire. And cobia, I love some cobia, so it's cool to see cobia on the menu. And the tacos are only $15.99, and it comes with a side, the 8-ounce entree. The cobia entree is $21.99. They also have what's called a captain's platter over there, and, man, that's my favorite. They've got shrimp, scallops, and some grouper on there, and you get the wild rice and vegetable medley and all the sides to go with it. It's pretty awesome. Plus, they got a waterfront deck, air-conditioned dining room. They do cook your catch, so you can go fishing with Steve or anybody and come back and have your fish cooked up fresh there. They do broil, blacken, regular fried, and Cajun fried as well. So some really good options for you over there at the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. Stop by today and check them out. FriendlyFisherman.com is the website, and they are open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. this time of year. So we've got Capt. Mike Perry on the line from Big Pine Key. What's going on, Capt. Mike? How are you, buddy?
Morning, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing well, buddy. Another day in paradise.
Oh, well. Well, I'm actually in the car. I'm headed to Key West. I had the boat down there for a few days. I had some people wanted to explore out near the Marquesas, which is wonderful because I don't get out to that area very often. But I have a lot of spots out there, and the best part about the Marquesas is you can have days, if you had the type of boat, you could have great inshore days and offshore days all in the same day. It's quite a dichotomy of fishing out there.
Yeah, it's the Keys in general are like that, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I've explored a lot of them, and I still find things that are pretty interesting. But the last couple days we've been out there trying to battle some of the rain and stuff, but the snapper fishing's good. We we got into a real good bite of mutton snapper out in that area, which was nice. I was reaching for the marking spots for the machine for down the road and making sure I knew the dates and tides and everything so I could match them up down the road. And the yellowtailing has been very, very good. Some big yellowtails.
Question for you on the yellowtail front. Are you generally seeing more quantity of yellowtails in the warmer months and then it dies down in the cooler months? Or is it spring and fall?
Yeah, we see them. Well, we see them year round, but the quantity is the summertime. The quality is now in the fall.
Okay.
Over the last couple of weeks, I've seen anywhere from 4 to 6, and we had, like I told you, the one lady laying a 7.1 pounder, and
wow,
it's just been real good. And getting out there, I told the people, it is technically in the Gulf, and the gag season's open, and we did end up catching 4 nice gags.
They love their yellowtails, boy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have seen some incredible yellowtail fishing recently. Our last 39-hour had probably some of the best yellowtail fishing, catching possible. They only fished 8 spots. I mean, just didn't have to move the boat. Just incredible numbers of yellowtails, and they just kept coming. It was insane.
Nice.
Insane.
I saw that.
Coming up to the surface.
I saw that video you did.
Yeah, pretty wild. Massive mountains.
It's
Are you seeing them too?
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Crazy yellowtail action. Well, what else you got for us? We're up against the break here, Captain Mike.
Oh, sorry about that. No, not much. Not much. Looking forward, like I said, the humidity's down here. I know you guys are really going to have a nice day or two up there, but
that's beautiful.
The humidity's down, and next weekend I'll be up your way for the 6a-8a all-release Hillsborough County tournament, fishing with my buddies up there. So looking forward to making a trip and putting the boat on the trailer for a few days and getting away from here and getting back up and seeing some family and having some fun up there.
There it is. Well, good luck, my friend, and we'll see you up here next weekend.
Right. Sure will. You guys have a great day. God bless. Tight lines from the Florida Keys. Keep fishing.
Thank you, sir.
See you, buddy. Always a pleasure to hear from our good friend, Captain Mike. Yeah, like you said, mutton and yellowtail. Both firing in the Keys and off our coast. It's wild. Yeah, it's a big fish. Monster yellowtail. Looking forward to hopefully getting one of those ourselves as we get into that time of year. Real Animals Radio will be right back. You can join the conversation yourself. 1-800-969-95. We'll be right back after this.
From the local Lexus dealers, WFLA News Desk. This is News Radio.
I think most of your fish from your last trip there came off chicken rigs, I think.
That whole thing backfired on me, telling you to go hang out with James, huh?
I was already down there. You didn't have me hang out with nobody. I was already down there hanging out with them boys. If you Joe, man, we're keep that guy around.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's like the captain. Start everybody, keep everybody in line, and
yeah, he's the man.
And he will just get whatever done it
He
needs
knows how to
get
fix
done.
everything too. Solid dude.
He kind of fumbled his way through that whole float switch or the high water alarm thing on that boat yesterday. He'd lift it, and then the wrong one would go off, and he'd switch the wires, and then nothing would go off, and then he'd switch it again, and then he'd pull this one, and that one would go off.
And make it work. Well, you have high water alarms in every void, so you got to think about how many lines are run through each of that, because each side's got 4 voids.
3.
Yeah, on that boat, you're right, 3. So that's a lot of wires to a lot of different.
Well,
lines.
I'm only assuming 3 because there was three on each side. You have
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
on the
5,
flying
6.
too, it is 3. It's an algorithm based on the length of the vessel, the number of MTWBs that are required, main transverse watertight bulkheads, and that's the Coast Guard's issue. On the Florida, it's I think 4 on each side, and the friendly is 5 because it's a single hull.
I got 1.
But I've got high water alarms in both boats just because. Like, I don't know how many stories that I've heard throughout my life of people like running and then all of a sudden their boat was like full of water while they were running.
Doesn't every boat come with high water alarms?
No, not a single one ever comes with a high water alarm. None of them do.
Really?
None. Doug just got his contender. Just got that brand new 39. I don't know. It's an $800,000 boat. Nope. No high water alarm in that boat.
Really?
No production.
They don't
boat.
come.
None of them.
That's news to me. I didn't know
And
that.
it's so dumb because they could get a float switch and a bell or a car horn or something and mount it in the boat. And whoever builds that boat would have $50 in it.
Yeah.
And for a high water alarm option in a boat, you could just put a price tag of $500 on it, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do it. Safety."
Mm-hmm.
And they could just make tons of money off of it, and nobody does it. Makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It should be a law.
I absolutely agree. How many times have you heard stories of people like, we were running and the boat didn't feel right, so we slowed down, and then we looked in the bilge and the whole bilge was full of water. A high water alarm fixes that problem.
I've heard those stories. I've heard
you find out about it when it's this deep,
Yeah.
instead of when it's this deep.
But I've heard those stories, and I always thought in the back of my head that's because their high water alarm had failed and they didn't know it. So I had no idea that.
Well,
those
at
stories...
that point, though, if the water gets that deep, not only is your high water alarm failed, but your
bilge
float
pumps,
switches and your bilge pumps, so you should have two. Most boats have at least two.
Yeah.
You know, those both failed. Like, you're just bad at your job.
Yeah.
Like, you don't take care of nothing. It's pretty bad stuff.
I started carrying a spare bilge pump with alligator clips to put to a wire because I had one of my bilge pumps fail.
Yeah.
An emergency pump is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Inboard diesel, so you got a clutch pump if you need it.
Yes. Yeah. Shut the valve and open the thing and just let it rip.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me one time, and I was like, "Ooh, that was scary."
That happened on your boat. And on the
it's happened more than once.
The Trav's old boat.
Yeah.
Trav had to do that once. Didn't work though. It still sank.
I think I ran. I was able to put my boat back on the trailer, and I pulled the drain plug, and it sat and drained at the Gandy boat ramp.
Where'd the water come from?
The Batewell.
Batewell pump.
Batewell pump. Yeah.
Broke.
Yep. And it sat on that trailer for probably 25 minutes, just draining.
What's amazing to me is like the amount of plastic that's under the water line in a lot of boats nowadays. Like even the new, like the Groco, like not through hulls, but like the pipes and seacocks and stuff like that that they're putting in boats. They say that they're super, super like you can't break them with a hammer and this and that and the other. But man, I just don't know, dude. I hate having any type of
that's
plastic
like the whole
under the water
consulting industry of like people getting on people's boats and running consultant trips. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know the boat.
I
you
will
don't know
not.
those weak points.
I have turned down millions of them. The only ones that I do are guys that I've already
vetted the boat.
Yeah.
Well, the boats that I do it with, like the owners don't do anything.
Yeah.
They don't have a key to it.
Yeah.
They can't even start it. Like they don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
So I take care of every aspect of those boats. So if those boats sink, it's directly on me because I didn't do something I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. Different animal.
I've only done it twice, and for fishing in the bay, it just sucks because I have everything in my boat. You know, every piece of gear that I could possibly need is there, cast nets, chum.
Yeah.
When you go to use somebody else's boat, you're coming to the dock with a duffel bag full of crap and buckets, and it's just a pain.
Yeah.
And then they might not have a trolling motor, or, it's just a different animals. Like, dude, just pay me to go on my boat, and we'll get it done.
It'll be easier for all of us.
Yeah.
This morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or a flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through that important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Good people over there for sure. They did my roof, Big Ben Marshall's roof, my neighbors. Really, really good job and quality work for sure. So check them out, especially this time of year. You want to make sure you got a good roof on.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have anything to test our roofs, but we sure are getting enough rain. It's crazy. So as far as fishing goes, like I mentioned, we're at the tail end of our gag grouper season and red snapper season, but still plenty of fish to be had. A lot of people are talking about like, oh, what happens now once red grouper or red snapper and gags close? What are you going to fish for? It's like you named only 2 species that are closing. There's a litany of other species that are still open for the remainder of the year. So it's something I struggle with. Are you getting that too, Steve?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you just got to kind of educate them. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so many different things that you can go do.
Mm-hmm.
These are just species that we concentrate on for certain times of the year because, red snapper, when it first started, it was only open for a week, and then everybody, it became, you had to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
It became really important. And then as the season length has grown, the demand for it is still there. So everybody wants to go out and get theirs. And then when you mix gag and everything all together in one shot and you tell them, you have 2 weeks to go do it, the world wants everybody, they'll set up trips, a year in advance. Like you can't imagine what gag season next year if they have the same time period of September 1st opening. And everything opens then, it's going to be, people are going to book 2 years in advance just to make sure that they get one of those days.
Yeah, I know for a fact it'll be September 1st next year because they haven't put into effect any conversation about changing it. So gags will open September 1st next year, and it should hopefully, if there's not an overage, which one positive thing, exactly before you start freaking out, Steve, one positive thing about this bad weather is there won't be an overage, right? There's no way that there could be an overage. So the one benefit to the bad weather is that should hopefully make sure we realize that higher allocation next year and thus a longer season. And on top of that, you have the interim analysis that's coming. You sit on the Refish AP with me. At our next Refish AP meeting, we're supposed to be seeing the data from that interim analysis. And if it's as good as I think it should be, and hopefully the science is catching up to what we're seeing on the water, that could potentially help us to have a higher catch level for gags next year too. So you have 2 things that pretty much almost guarantee a higher catch level next year, higher quota, longer season. And red snapper, I don't see how our charter fleet filled that quota because everybody I talked to from around the Gulf really had a soft August. Once kids went back to school, pretty much died out for a lot of the Gulf. Our area of the Gulf, Central and Southwest Florida, we still have a lot of drive traffic and drive market, and we stayed pretty busy through the end of red snapper season, especially when gags reopened. But places like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, those charter boats were not busy at all since kids went back to school, and they didn't have the gag grouper season push that we did. So I would imagine our red snapper season next year should overlap with gags. The only problem is amberjack. I don't think amberjack will be open next year. It wasn't supposed to be open this year, and we're currently enjoying an amberjack season that's not supposed to be happening.
Well, if any of the counters are listening, we have taken 0 amberjack so far. So 0, none.
Yeah. Our area is not catching the amberjack, but apparently up in the northern Gulf and western Gulf is where the amberjack are frothing.
We haven't even fished for them.
Yeah.
Haven't even, hasn't even been part of the trips.
Too much other stuff going on.
Yeah, nobody asked. Nobody wanted them. They just want their gags and their red snappers. That's what they want.
What about you, Charlie? I mean, inshore side of things, we're approaching that redfish peak season. And, I mean, where you're fishing, for listeners, ebb and flow charters, you're out of Gandy. So you're not fishing out on the beach too much. So are you still finding some snook?
Snook in my part of the bay has been kind of a bad situation.
Yeah.
They're
Not seeing the
around, but
numbers.
just the numbers have gone. After that red tide, I don't think they've rebounded the way they should. I think there's a lot of other stuff that's happened with the building of the bridge, and there's a lot of stuff I think the fish kind of like scattered out. But we're still catching them, just not in the numbers we used to.
Is that normal for this time of year, though? Because, I mean, in my area, at least, all the snook are on the beach and in the pass.
No, I mean, we used to have spots we could go and catch, 20, 30, 40 fish on any given 4-hour trip.
Nice.
And that just doesn't really happen too much anymore. I mean, we're starting to see smaller fish, which is good. So, a few years down the road, we'll, get better. And then once winter comes around, they'll get more concentrated in the backcountry. So a little bit easier. But redfish has been awesome.
Nice.
Yesterday, we got a good one. I came up on a flat that I was anticipating catching trout and snook, and I saw what looked like a school of fish, and I haven't seen a school of redfish on this flat in a decade.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it'd been a long time, and I just kind of kept paying attention, and I couldn't really tell if it was a school or not, but it was like, well, let's just fish it, and we ended up catching a 27.5, 8-pound red.
Wow.
And then after that, the water kind of disturbance went away, so it must have been a school, which was pretty neat.
And this is that time of year where we see more schooling redfish,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
September into October and almost into November, and then they kind of disappear and do their spawning thing.
Yep.
So
and I
this
think
is the
that
time of year for it.
that they kind of it's that time of year inside of middle Tampa Bay where if you do see a school of redfish, you're also going to see 50 boats. And those fish get hammered, unfortunately, but it's just the nature of how it is.
What are you throwing at redfish? It hasn't switched to a crustacean bite. When does that happen, right?
I've always I just stick with whitebait.
Always.
Either that or artificials.
Okay.
I mean, there'll be sometimes early morning if you get out on a flat by yourself, you could get on top waters and.
Oh yeah.
But normally just whitebait's the key. It's just easy.
I got you. But in the winter, it switches to that crustacean bite more.
Yes.
But that's not until like December.
Yeah, pretty well. It depends on what type of winter we have.
Yeah, how cold the water gets.
Yeah, I mean, I think as of right now, yesterday the water temperature was 81, and that's been down 10 degrees.
That's cool.
Yeah.
For September.
Yeah. So to me, that's like I don't think the water temperature is going to get much higher.
What's crazy is I think this year is strange in the fact that we kind of had a late spring and kind of a weird transition there, and I feel like we're having a really weird fall.
Yeah.
Like water temps have gotten really low really fast because of all this rain and cloud cover we've been having. And we're seeing the same thing near shore, like hogfish are starting to bite already. We're catching 10, 12, 13, 14 hogfish on a 10-hour trip, where normally we don't see that until October.
Yeah.
When the cold fronts start.
I think it's going to be cold winter this year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, last winter was pretty cold.
I would say last winter was average to a little bit above, maybe a 6.5, 7 would be my rating. It wasn't we didn't have the hardened down cold fronts back to back to back to back to back, but we had some good ones for sure. It did
Definitely
get
got
cold.
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you're predicting a hard one.
I am. Unfortunately, I don't.
You're just
I don't
a negative
like those.
person, bro.
I feel like it's going to come on pretty quick. I mean, the only reason I think that is, we've had 2 cold fronts already.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them came in August. That one sat here for 2 weeks or so.
Well, I wouldn't call them cold fronts, right?
It was a cold front. I mean, it was
It
a
just
frontal
stalled.
boundary, and it came down, and it sat between Tampa Bay and Boca Grande
you're
for
right.
a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then a low spun off of it in the Gulf, and I mean, it was a front.
Yeah.
And it was in August, and I don't remember the last time I saw a front come down all the way down here from August. Normally it's like
stalls
come
in
into
the
the
panhandle.
and then they just kind of dissipate and fall apart. But that thing pushed all the way down. So I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I hope it's 70 degrees on Christmas.
We got a
I
north
don't wanna-
wind right now.
Yeah.
From a I wouldn't call it a cold front again. It's hard to call it a cold front if it doesn't get cold, but you're right. It is
pretty
technically
cool outside.
It was
by definition.
71 degrees in my truck this morning when I left the house. That's cold.
All right.
Look,
I'll
keep hanging on.
Yeah, you're
Dylan.
right.
Just keep
You're right.
hanging on to it. It's going to be summer all year. You're good.
Just grasping at straws, Steve.
Just keep hanging on to it.
It is nice, though. It is. I will give it that. The Fox 13 segment, we have to get out there a little early and get mic'd up, and you're kind of waiting to go live. And so I'm standing out there in the boardwalk in the sun waiting for the camera to start rolling and for them to cut to us from the studio. And most of the time, by the time they cut to me, I've already got sweat stains going through my T-shirt, And this past Friday, I had a little bit of a chill.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was real nice.
Yeah,
So.
I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, we're in the middle of September and it's not blazing hot, 90% humidity, and 7 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah. Normally September, we're dying.
Yeah.
We're praying for the first cold front.
Yep.
And it's been a nice end to August. So all that to say, I feel like a lot of the transition, that fall transition to the fishery is already starting early.
Yep.
Inshore, you have the snook kind of retreating. You have the redfish picking up. Sheep's head, man.
Yeah.
At the end of August, we had sheep's head like all over the pilings. It's really strange to see that so early. And near shore, we're seeing the hogfish pick up. I heard rumors in August about big schools of mackerel moving their way north. We haven't really seen them yet.
I've seen I've been the last few trips, even in that 80 to or 70 to 90 foot, jig head fishing for mangoes and stuff.
You're seeing them
snipped off quite a few times, but we caught three mackerel while we were mango fishing the other day.
Nice.
Just on a couple different spots. And
Are you seeing them showering?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen stuff like that.
You're seeing the ones,
but I'm not on the
water
beach
column.
much. Most of the time, it's like when I'm where those schools should be, it's too dark for me to see them in the morning, and then in the afternoon, it's usually a pretty hard northwest sea breeze and blowing pretty hard, so I probably wouldn't see them much then either. But I do know that a couple of the inshore guys that I know have said that they've seen some big wads of mackerel, and if we're seeing them offshore, then might be a good year for them.
Awesome. Well, we've got Donald from Lutz on the line. I don't want to squeeze him out, so we're going to get to him on the other side. Hopefully, we're going to hear from you as well. Remember, if you want to join the show, bring us a fishing question or just say hello or a fishing report, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Real Animals will be right back with Donald from Lutz on the other side.
A big problem that we've had with the snook in my part of the bay particularly is the dolphin.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just, we're very cognizant, that they're around, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I've left certain spots with 10 to 12 snook in my live well, little ones, and I'll take them around the corner and release them right at the mangrove so the dolphin can't get them.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people see where we're fishing, and they come and fish, and then they catch a short snook, and they just throw it over, and dolphins will eat every single one.
Wow.
Do you find that inshore that you see like a mother and a calf, and she's actually
teaching them,
training them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I saw that for the first time offshore a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And we would throw something back, and the mother and the baby would pop up next to the boat. They'd both dive down just side by side, and then they'd come up, and and I was just like, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's generational.
Yeah.
They teach them how to follow boats.
Yep.
And they lower units, that click in and out of gear, dude, you can hear that underwater for miles.
Yeah.
And those dolphins are not dumb. They're the smartest.
Neither are the sharks, apparently.
Well, sharks are
they
not as smart as dolphins, but
Mike had a charter. They caught the same shark 3 times throughout the day.
Wow.
3 times. Wow. Same shark, because it It had a, I guess
They
it
can
had
still
a,
see the bullet
it
hole.
had a long line. It had a
Just
long
joking.
line. It had a
Entertainment
big
purposes only.
It had a big green. Yeah, he's full of it. It had a big green long line, like super, like real heavy leader, like 300 pound, with a circle hook stuffed in the side of the mouth. And they get it up, and they got it close, and they got the hook out the first time. They got the hook out the second time, and then the third time, they caught the same exact animal, and they didn't get the hook. They couldn't get the hook out of it that time. But this was like
Across different spots.
yeah, he was. He had moved 3 miles between where he hooked him the first time and where he hooked him the second time.
Wow.
So if you tell me that those things ain't following boats around, that's wrong. They're following. Like, that thing literally got caught, reeled to the boat, got the hook taken out of its mouth, and stayed around the boat and just kept following them for 3 miles. And they
That's
caught him
crazy.
2 other times throughout that time frame.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We're back.
Today, Dylan Hubbard.
Sorry to disappoint. Just Captain Dylan Hubbard here with Captain Steve Papen of Fintastic Fishing Charters and Captain Charlie Howell of Ebb and Flow Charters on News Radio 970 WFLA, talking fishing. And hopefully hearing from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. We got our buddy Donald from Lutz on the line. What's going on, Donald? How are you today?
Awesome. Good morning, captains. We've got a smidge of dry air.
Were you watching Fox 13 yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I try and catch it every Friday.
That was hilarious yesterday, the smidge of dry air. Oh, man, Dave would not stop. He set me up for that one.
That was good. That was good. So last Saturday, I had my Dawsu outing, my Donald and whoever goes up, and catching some nice redfish and some trout and stuff. And all of a sudden, we got the storm coming in, hitting us. So... But
not fun in the kayak.
No, but it wasn't too bad. Just got a little bit wet, but set up the shelter and grilled cheeseburgers and hot dogs for everyone afterwards, and we're just hanging out, talking about what we did out there. And yeah, it really is. It's a great time. In fact, October 18th at Pop Stanzel's Park, I'm actually going to do a low country boil for everybody.
Whoa.
We're gonna do crab legs, shrimp, andouille sausage, the potatoes, and corn on the cob. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time for sure. Nothing beats a low country boil, especially after catching some fish.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
So next Saturday is the CC All Release Memorial for Captain Richard Seward. I remember hanging out with Captain Richard a bunch of times at Metropolitan Ministries for the annual food drive, and he was still going, when he was in his 80s, and last time he was there, it's like, man, he's still doing the carts and unloading and stuff, but always loved helping out for that.
Yes.
So looking forward to that again, coming up whenever they're doing it in November.
November 22nd, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thanks for bringing it up. Fishing for Hope event is on, and this year it's going to be even bigger, even better. We've got our friends at Old Salts Fishing Club joining us, and Jim Nassett and his team over there at Pro Marine have come through. We're going to have the boat back, and that boat is going to be at the Old Salts King of the Beach tournament. So we're going to have the Sink the Boat event again at that fall tournament. So a chance to bring food to the tournament and deposit your food donations for the Fishing for Hope event at the Old Salts King of the Beach fall tournament. Then the boat's going to make its way back to Pro Marine, and we'll sit at Pro Marine the time between the tournament and Fishing for Hope. So that way we'll be able to accept donations there at Pro Marine as well. So if you can't make it to Tampa there the day of the event, November 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., North Rome Avenue, to donate your food, you'll be able to go to King of the Beach, donate it there, or go to Pro Marine and donate it there between King of the Beach and Fishing for Hope. So we're really excited this year to have the help of Old Salts and Pro Marine, and of course Captain Bill Miller, Captain Mike Anderson, and everybody else will be there as well. So it's going to be a really exciting year for Fishing for Hope, and hopefully we'll be able to break some records. So thanks for bringing it up, Donald.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a great thing to help out Metropolitan Ministries, even throughout the year, too, because it's not just for Thanksgiving. It's, a year-round thing. But so looking forward to next Saturday, the CCO release. I'm excited for that, fishing with Cap Michael Perry on Cap Rick Rose's boat. And, I'm going to treat it like I'm on a charter. It's like just going to be a blast. If I catch fish, great. If I don't catch fish, that's going to be great too. I'm just blessed to be out there, to be able to do this. And I'm really thankful to those two for inviting me again to be on the boat, and just looking forward to hanging out and, the camaraderie. And, I know there'll be a lot of laughs, and it's just going to be fun.
Amen to that. Time. Well, good luck out there, Donald. Appreciate the phone call, and hopefully we'll hear from you next weekend to give us a rundown of the event plan.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You guys take care, stay safe in tight lines, and good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. You know what I mean?
Amen to that. Thanks, Donald. Appreciate you, buddy. Always a pleasure hearing from Donald and his Dawsoo events. Low Country Boil. After some kayak.
Yeah, that does sound good.
It does. Excited. We've got Will from Apollo Beach coming up on the other side. And again, hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 to join us. Real Animals Radio is coming back shortly. Don't forget our friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust titanium blade with a true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced and comes in 5 great models to choose from. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish today and grab a Relentless knife. Go to relentlessknivesusa.com to find out for yourself why this is the knife all the pros are talking about. Real Animals Radio will be right back.
This program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Amazed me.
He was always so cool when he'd call in. I loved his call-ins.
Yeah.
They were always very interesting.
The guy was 80.
He would always call in from church on Sunday too.
Yeah.
I'm in the parking lot of church. Yeah. Give his church a shout out on the radio every Sunday. Yeah.
That's what boat I'm running. It's his son Ricky's old Pathfinder.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Old Richard. But the good thing is whenever I'm filleting fish at Gandy, they have a memorial picture of him right there at the fillet station.
At the ramp?
Yeah.
Cool.
Didn't they name that ramp the Richard Seward Memorial? Or they were talking about it or something?
It's still the Salty Saul Fleischman.
Oh, Salty Saul.
Yeah. But I guess the fillet table is
Richard Seward
fillet table, I guess. I don't know, but they got a memorial thing there for him.
You can put one of those up at the dock for me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jason will go for that. I'm just kidding.
Who's Jason?
Your face is priceless. It's funny.
Speaking of fillets, your crew is much happier now. You're welcome.
Oh, the knives?
Yeah.
Did you teach them how to use it?
I didn't have to. Chris already knew.
You got it dialed in?
Yeah, he said, dude, that was the most amazing thing that we've ever had. He's like, dude, that thing is epic. It works fantastic, man.
What is it?
I'm telling you.
Knife sharpener.
Ken knife, work sharp knife sharpener.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been
What was
one
the difference between the one I had already?
I don't know. I've never used the one that you had, but the one that you had, I know it had little teeny little blade or little teeny little belts and stuff.
So the one that you told me to order is just a bigger, beefier version?
Yeah, it's more of an industrial one, where the one that you had is more of a, like, maybe sharpen some kitchen knives stuff.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, I've never been like Grandpa never taught me how to hold that angle direct on the sharpening stone. You know what I mean? Like, and every time I've tried it, like I get it sharp, but you know, if you're at 25, 25, 25, and then all of a sudden you do 20 for a couple strokes, and then you back 25, your edge gets all wavy and stuff like that. It's an art to really use a stone and get a really, really sharp knife, whereas this thing is just kind of dummy proof.
Yeah.
And it works really, really well. You know, all you gotta do is make sure you got the right belts in there, and it's pretty simple. You can set it at 15 degrees or 17 degrees or 20 degrees or whatever, and just it doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're setting it at 15 degrees, you're gonna lose an edge fast.
I use 20 is what I.
Even 20s really, they say for fillet knives it should be 25 because it'll hold the
Hunting
edge.
knife should be 25. Fillet knife should be 20.
Really?
Yeah. Because you want a sharp knife, because the only times I've ever cut myself was because my knife was too dull and I was forcing it and pushing it, and it goes through and ends up coming into you. So you know, nothing bothers me more than a dull fillet knife. I went to help Simmons one time. He did a 6 hour or something, and I came in to help him fillet fish, and that's great. He's like, well, he did a full day. And he's like, I'll do the snapper and you do the grouper. I'm like, all right, cool. So I grab a grouper, and I didn't have my knife, so I just grabbed one of his. You know, I'm like, just for the collar cut. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm gonna throw this thing. You better have a different knife in there. And like, this must be one that you like clean your barnacles off the bottom of your boat with, because I need a different knife. It's terrible. And I've known Simmons for a long time, so what I did, like, he's like, no, man, they're fine. So I just grabbed his phone, and I opened his Amazon. It was open, so I punch that one in, and I hit buy now. And I was like, your knife sharpener will be at your house in a couple of days.
That'll cost you.
Yeah. Well, so for $160, I mean, you can't beat it. And then the replacement belts are $19 for a whole new set.
Nice.
So you can't beat it.
How long do the belts last for?
I'm still on my first set. You know, I mean, I think I had one of them. I had one of the belts.
Do you change the belts out, or do you just keep the same belt on all the time?
No, you have to do it different. So the way they have it set up, you have to read the instructions. You really do, because it has different parameters for if your knife is butchered, or if it's, you know, chipped, or if it's, you know, they have different processes with how many strokes and which belt and stuff like that. But
so yeah, because like if it's really dull, you have to start with the really, really rough belt.
Or if you're changing, like if you're changing from a 20 to a 25 or to a 15 or something like that, now you're gonna have to take that metal off to change it. But
so you go from the really rough to the finer to the
right, but like
if
you're doing your fillet knife, which it's dull, but it's not like butchered up or anything like that, then you're just starting in the middle. You do the medium, you do the fine, and then
so you have to change the belts a lot then.
It's honestly, it's super simple. You just pull up, take that belt off, put this belt on, and then let go. And I mean, it's on a spring and everything. Like, it's pretty simple. Takes a half a second to change a belt. You know, it's nothing. But you know, once you set it at whatever degree you want, like every stroke is exactly the same. So it works. I don't know. It works really well.
What's the name of it? So everybody listen. It's the
Ken Onion knife, Work Sharp.
Ken Onion?
Ken Onion. I don't know who Ken Onion is, but apparently he knows how to make a
Work Sharp.
They put his name on that thing.
He must be a cook or something, or a chef.
Yeah, it's probably a chef. But I mean, he sounds like it.
If you Google Ken Onion, all that comes up is the Bass Pro link to buy it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They got him at Northern Tool.
Oh, he also has a Kershaw pocket knife named after him too.
I'll take a look at that.
I mean, the thing works great. I'd buy it even if it said the Dylan Hubbard knife sharpener. I would still buy it.
So Ken Onion is an American custom knife maker.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Based in Hawaii.
So it's just like a...
He's a premier knife designer for Kershaw Knives.
Hey, you seen like all the stuff where they have like the ceramic things
Yeah.
like this, and then everybody uses the little ones
that.
that you put on your hand. Those things just butcher your knife.
Yeah.
That one doesn't.
Media Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, talking fishing with Captain Steve Papen of Fintastic Fishing Charters, Captain Charlie Howell of Ebb and Flow Charters, and hopefully you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 if you'd like to join the conversation. Speaking of, we've got Will from Apollo Beach on the line. What's going on, Will? How are you this morning?
Better than I deserve. How you doing, Dylan?
Doing well, my friend. Doing well. Another day in paradise. What you got for us this morning?
I got a question. The Blue Runners, is that in the family of the Jack?
It is, I believe. Steve's shaking his head. Yes, he's a Blue Runner expert, so we'll default to him. What's going on?
Yeah, they are definitely.
Okay.
I thought they were, but they're good fighters. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Good fighters and a great bait.
Yeah.
Fantastic bait.
Yeah, very good. Last Monday, it was a day that a fisherman dreams of. I've caught literally so many mackerel, my wrist still hurts.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Where at? In the bay, on the beach, out, on the coast?
In the bay.
Okay.
Yeah, over in the Fort DeSoto area.
Nice. So there's mackerel in the Fort DeSoto area. That's good.
Yeah, it's and they're a lot bigger this time of the year than they were in July.
Mm-hmm.
So really makes a good day if you like fishing. I want to give a shout out to my fishing buddy Alfalfa and his son.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that doesn't like the manatees.
I don't think you're alone in that one.
Yeah, I'm the guy I talked to you about a month ago about the manatees eating all our seagrass.
There's a lot of conversation around it. I mean, it's a tough subject to have discussed, and no one seems to want to have the conversation. But there is a carrying capacity to the environment, and I'm interested to see that conversation happen around manatees because they were at a point where their population was really low. Now their population is really high, and same with sharks. I mean, we can't continue to manage in a vacuum, right? If you have an apex predator like a shark, what happens when you regulate that species and that species proliferates? The top of the food web gets really heavy. You have to have some predator control. Manatee is not a predator, but they don't have any natural predators really besides humans and their unfortunate interaction with engines. And then also manatees have a lot of these unique mortality events or unknown mortality events involved with, I guess, water quality, temperature, whatever you want to equate it to. They haven't really figured out why. But there is definitely a problem with manatees, or a correlation, I should say, not a problem, a correlation with manatees and seagrass and these different extinction events to seagrass beds. So it's a conversation that I think should happen or should be looked at. I would agree, Will.
I'm trying to figure out now the benefit or of having porpoises.
Yeah.
When you're on a pier, if you got to bring that fish up, I have had many times porpoise come right out of the water like you see in the aquarium and take the whole bottom half of your fish. And, I know the tourists love them, but is there really any benefit to having porpoises?
The entire food web is important, so marine mammals definitely have a place and a balance. And a lot of marine mammals are keeping sharks away. A lot of times when you see dolphins, you don't see sharks. Yep. So there is a balance there. So I think they are important to the environment. Now, I would agree.
Okay.
The same conversation about sharks and manatees, right? Is there's also a balance that needs to be struck, and marine mammals are severely protected in the Marine Mammal Protection Act, MMPA, and there should be some conversation around marine mammal deterrence, and those conversations are starting. You've seen that off the West Coast, so they allow rubber bullets in seals to keep the seals off some of those fishing vessels. And there is no possible way that you can even think about using rubber bullets in the Gulf for marine mammals. But there is conversations around some of these deterrents, and there is right now some audio deterrents being tested and some other things sent. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
I'd love to be one of the testers for said test.
You'll sign up.
You want to test the rubber
I'll
bullets?
test them out.
No rubber bullets.
No rubber bullets, but
rubber
definitely
bullets.
like
Very-
acoustic devices.
Not even
Like-
entertainment purposes are we going to joke about rubber bullets.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if that.
I know
sound
we
like
get.
a
Hey,
great
Dylan. I know we got thousands of new people coming from the north, moving down here for obvious reasons. But I do want to tell them, if they get a chance to do one of your charters out of your Hubbard Marine, it's an experience they'll never forget.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words.
You
And
have a
thanks
blessed-
for the phone call this
You
morning.
have a blessed day.
You as well, Will. You have a great one. Always good to hear from our local fishermen and listeners like you. Remember 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. We got Captain Jim Fogel on the line with our Visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. What's going on, Captain Jim? How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning, Dylan and Steve and Charlie. Hope you guys are having a good morning.
We are.
Sounds like it.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of, that's not my subject, but you guys got me started here. Yesterday, or last night, I think, on TV, they showed alligators, walking up people's stairs and all kinds of stuff like that. They were talking about needing more possible open, chits to hunt gators.
Thought you were going to talk about open carry.
No, they've got bears. They're giving out a few hits for bears and a few for alligators, and they were wondering if they didn't need more since another alligator ate TV or something.
Charismatic megafauna, whether it's dolphins, manatees, pelicans, black bears, alligators, all these different species. It's a interesting problem that we have to strike. Charismatic megafauna.
Let's talk for a minute about this week on the water. Coast Guard had a pretty busy week. Tuesday, a 20-footer went out of Hernando about 30 miles and became disabled. A 22-footer began towing him back. Now, I don't know if they were fishing together or what. I don't have that part of the story. But began towing him back, and then it got in trouble. So both boats got in trouble, and they all got really wet, and they got rescued by the Coast Guard, but they had to be treated for hypothermia. So, there's another reminder that even though, our weather is pretty warm, the water's pretty warm, you can certainly get hypothermia if you're in the wrong conditions and you get wet.
Yeah, not good.
On Wednesday, a 27-foot sea hunt, I think it was, I'm not sure, went out of Papen early in the morning, headed for the middle grounds, I think, and then they hit a wave and both gentlemen were ejected from the boat. No life jackets. I'm not sure how long they were in the water, but it turns out that the Double Eagle, which I think is out of Clearwater.
It is.
You know that one, Dylan?
Yes.
They
It's out of Clearwater.
evidently had a medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Coast Guard came out, rescued a person, pull somebody off the boat, and because they were the rest of them wanted to fish for a little while, they hung out, and all of a sudden they spotted a guy in the water.
Wow.
So luckily they rescued one of these two guys from the water, and the other guy has not been found.
Yeah.
So please, listeners, be ready for all this stuff. The sea does not care. The sea does not have a conscience. The sea does not have a heart. It's a great place. But you got to take care of yourself. So please be careful out there.
Yeah.
Use all the safety gear you can possibly get. Use, and pay attention to that weather.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers are with Brandon Taylor's family and dealing with that difficult time.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Very sad. He was a good fisherman, well known in the industry for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I know him, but he sounds like a really good guy. I read up on him. All right, guys. Sorry to end that with such a sour note there, or a sad note, but you guys keep up the good work for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel, be safe out there.
Appreciate you, Captain Jim. Thank you. Our Visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Definitely appreciate that, keeping us focused and reminding us you got to stay safe out there on the water. It is can be a dangerous place, can turn dangerous quickly, and got to be thinking ahead for sure. Not good. And we're coming into that time of year where the water temp is going to get low, and that makes things even more dangerous because you don't have a lot of time. It's cooler, it's nicer, but man, it can get even more treacherous offshore. Don't want to end up in cold water. That's a tough thing.
It's happened to me once.
It's no fun.
The day after it happened, I went and bought a Mustang self-inflatable PFD.
Mm-hmm.
And
boat sank?
No, I flew out of the boat.
Really?
Yeah, it did a bow steer and just whipped right over. Luckily, I wasn't driving the boat. It was a buddy of mine's boat, but it happened right out in front of the St. Pete Pier. Wow. And I was like, he circled around and got me, and we ended up still going fishing, but it was definitely an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I think safety equipment's something that a lot of people do overlook. Everybody gets an EPIRB, but, then they're like, that's enough, but getting out of the water is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a raft on an offshore boat should almost be as important as having an engine or a bottom machine.
Mm-hmm.
Just something to save everybody at the end of the day. If the absolute worst thing happens, just pop a raft. I mean, if you're in a $200,000 boat, what's $1,500 for a raft? It's not that big a deal.
A ditch bag is important. Thinking about these things ahead of time is very important. Signal mirrors, something to make noise. Because the thing about, you hear these stories about people being lost offshore, and it's so sad and so difficult to deal with. And it's just a tough situation. But you think about it, it's like, how do people get lost offshore? The Coast Guard will search for 48 hours. 72 hours. There's all these people. You watch John's Pass on a morning, all these boats after boats after boats going out there. How does someone go missing? But then you think about it, even if you're wearing up all head to toe bright neon green, if you're out there in the Gulf, you are literally a speck, a needle in a haystack. And it's really hard to see a head bobbing out there offshore.
Yep.
So you got to make sure that you have those things. And it's scary to think about, for sure. Got to be prepared. Think about it ahead of time.
Yep.
Yeah, and communication is always helpful. So an EPIRB, your sat phone, your Garmin InReach, and nowadays they got that beautiful Starlink.
Yeah,
man, that stuff is cool. We had a guy on the overnighter, this last overnighter, who brought a Starlink out, just kind of set it up on the roof of the boat, so the guys are FaceTiming me the whole time, packing fish and sending photos back and forth, watching Netflix. Pretty wild.
Yeah,
crazy.
I hear that you might be getting Starlink.
I really want a Starlink.
Yeah,
and honestly, they're pretty costly, but we're already paying for Garmin InReach. We're already paying for sat phone. We're already paying for all these different things, and then you throw in the Sirius XM satellite to see the radar offshore. Between the cost of the Starlink or the sat phone, the Garmin, and the Sirius XM, you cancel all those and just get a Starlink.
Well, I don't know if the XM you're going to cancel because of the weather that overlays on your chart plotter.
It is pretty nice.
Versus the one that is on your phone that just kind of shows you a general dot
you still
on
got
where
a dot.
you are.
You still got a dot.
But you can help plan your trips better with the overlay on your chart plotter. I'm going to go to this area because the storms aren't there, versus you looking at it on your phone. I don't know. Just playing the devil's advocate there. Starlink is obviously the new greatest thing, but maybe they'll be able to get it through on your chart plotter.
I'm sure.
At some point.
NEMA unit won't be far behind.
Yeah.
You'll be able to watch your YouTube on your 16-inch screens.
We actually have that now on the Contender, on the new loggerhead. Yeah, there's we were watching Apple TV the other day.
While you were offshore?
Oh, we weren't offshore. We were sitting at the dock, but he has Starlink on it, so you will be able to watch TV out there now. I don't know. I'm not really sure why, but
because you can.
Yeah, not me.
You got a 39 Contender, you might as well watch Apple TV. That's awesome. Captain Gene Hammond, Lines of Liberty on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation.
Having trouble finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust? A company that is clean, honest.
I hit the head real quick. Good old Doug Spieler and his guy. That's a nice setup.
He's printing money nowadays.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Love when you get a call first thing in the morning saying my captain canceled. Can you take us out?
I hate that. Your captain canceled for a reason. You may not have understood it, but yeah, my guys that were supposed to take today, one of them was just he texted me last night and he's like, I told him, I said, it's going to be too nasty to go, whatever, this, that, and the other. He's like, well, I don't see any rain. And I was like, you're not worried about the rain.
You're
It's
not
the
seeing the
seas
6
and the
foot seas.
wind and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And he's like, well, mine says it's going to be like 10 miles an hour. I'm like, yours is wrong.
Add 10 to it.
Trust me, I really want to go. I really, really, really want to go right now. But, I mean, we've been running like crazy for 3 months, June, July, and August were nuts. And then this was our big ending, and not going to happen.
Yeah. Look at that. Some kids watching us.
Oh, that's awesome. That's what it's all about.
Your father is watching also.
Oh, Captain Mark, he's in the building. He's making sure I'm doing the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant plug right.
They're
I just called
doing
you a
trout
kid.
workshops this coming week.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
They're doing them too. They're having one in Apollo Beach.
There's a shitload of the trout workshops.
Ooh.
Damn it, I had the fucking fly. Oh, here it is. All right, cool. Yeah, let me see. They had 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 trout workshops planned.
Yeah.
Over the course of 10 days.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm going to go to the one on Monday at FWRI. I'm assuming that they're just going to talk about making trout in the same regional zones as they do with everything else, which is good.
Yeah, trout, redfish, and right now it's snook and redfish. Now it'll be trout too.
Yep. Makes they should have done that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to slowly switch all the fish over to those microscopic regions.
They should, because everything's different.
It's pretty wild they do that though.
Yeah, and it's a lot more work for them, but
hugely. And it's a little bit more work for fishermen, especially if you live on those boundaries.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what the hell you can keep.
Yep.
Why is it called Hubbard Friendly Fisherman now?
Because my dad and the family wants to emphasize the fact that it's not, because before it was managed by a management group, and now it's under new management. The Hubbard family took it back over. So they're trying to emphasize the fact that it's Hubbard's Friendly Fisherman. That's their thought. Again,
It's not my circus or my monkeys. I'm on the outside looking in, but I'm trying to help advertise it for them. I like family business, but I can deal with my dad. Me and my dad, we can do well, but the actual family in the restaurant, nah, a little much for me to deal with all those dynamics.
It's a legacy, man. You're just gonna have to deal with it because you're in charge of the legacy now.
I am dealing
Roll with the punches.
That's just what it is. Sometimes you can't have it your way, even though you think your way is best. Sometimes it just has to be the legacy's way.
I hate you.
You know I'm right.
That's why I hate you.
Well, whatever. I got you, Mark. Don't worry. I love after all these years, your dad still texts me all the time.
Yeah. We're back. Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. Hopefully hearing from you as well. Want to give a shout out to our friends over there at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or a flat roof, check out our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. They're their safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let them guide you through this important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. With that, we got a few minutes to cut over to our buddy Captain Gene Hammond with Lines of Liberty. What's going on, Captain Gene?
Well, how's it going, fellas? Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Taylor family. I knew of him. I didn't know him personally, but just sad. Just sad.
Extremely.
I have Starlink. I carry my Starlink. I have Garmin InReach. I have a PLB, but I don't wear that stuff. No. And sometimes I don't always wear my kill switch. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Big time.
It's pretty sad.
Definitely a tough situation.
But, very, very tough. Wear your kill switch. That boat stops. Maybe they get back to the boat, but
yeah.
But I don't know what happened there. If the boat overturned, I know those sea hunts can dig real hard and practically throw you out of the boat in the following sea. I've been on one, but our thoughts and prayers go out to him for sure.
Sad.
But
what do you got going on at Lines of Liberty? We're up against a break.
Man, I got to tell you a real quick story. I had a gentleman call me up to donate some gear. Right.
Nice.
I walked into his garage down there, and not one, but 2 Bronze Star medal certificates hanging on the wall. Let me read this to you real quick. And this is authorized by the President of the United States. August 1962, the Bronze Star Medal for meritorious achievement in ground operation against hostile forces in the Republic of Vietnam. Not 1, but 2. It just gives me chills, right?
That's crazy.
And I want to tell you, next time you talk to Captain Jim Fogel, please thank him for his service, because that was him. He's always there to help us. He's very humble. You wouldn't know it.
No.
But he is a true American hero. And that just, I'm telling you, I wanted to turn around and give him a hug when I saw those medals on the wall. That's a big deal. Republic of Vietnam against ground for hostile forces on the ground of Vietnam. So Captain Jim Fogel and his family is always there to help Lines of Liberty. It's people like that. He gave me a bunch of gear to help take veterans out. I did a trip yesterday. It was a little rough. We caught some grouper and some other things, but it's people like that help me do what I do, especially you guys. Thank you to the community, and thank you, Fogel family, and especially Jim Fogel for always being there for me and our cause.
That's awesome,
amazing.
man.
He's a true American hero. He really is.
Amen to that. Well, we appreciate you, Captain Gene. Thanks for calling in, my Brent.
Yep. Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, man. Thank you. Take care. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. linesofliberty.org. Check them out. Lines of Liberty on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Texas dealers, WFLA News Desk. This is News Radio.
2 Bronze Stars in Vietnam. That's some
yourself a
serious.
note.
That's some serious.
Talk to him about that next
Yeah,
time.
for real.
You know what, though? He probably.
Captain Jim Fogel and I, we got to sit down. I bet he's got some crazy stories.
I bet you he doesn't tell you any of them.
Yeah, most of them don't.
My man never told me. He never talked about it at all.
Yeah. My grandfather on my mom's side was in World War II, and he was in the Pacific. That's all I knew. And, like, right before he passed away, we were at Fort DeSoto, and he, like, said, like, a dozen words my whole life growing up. Like, he never really talked ever about anything. He was just a very quiet person. But this we were barbecuing out at Fort DeSoto one day. He just started talking, and he talked for like 3 hours, and all of us were just like, because A, he was talking, and B, he was talking about the war. He wasn't serving in the Pacific. He was a Marine who was on the invasion teams with a flamethrower.
Wow.
He was a flamethrower guy on Iwo. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Crazy. And they were the biggest targets coming up over the beaches. And then they stood in the mouth of the caves with those things going. And who knows what you saw as you run a flamethrower onto another human being. Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Gives me the chills.
That's stuff that we'll never understand.
Yeah.
No.
Thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because they did it.
Yeah, and you watch like that docu-series, The Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen it like 4 times, and every time I watch it, it gets better.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about that generation and how many like 17-year-olds lied about their age so they could get on a steamship and steam across the Pacific. It's crazy. Nuts.
Yep. And my dad lied about his age to join the service.
And you had those Marines doing that in the Pacific, and then you had the airborne guys in the Army lying about their age and signing up for an extra $50 to jump out of a plane, which back then was like totally groundbreaking. Never been done before. Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
but you're right. Nowadays, I don't think you'd have enough people to sign up, and no one would be lying about their age. Not enough, at least.
I don't know. The old guys might be lying about their age so they can qualify and be young enough.
Do it again.
Young enough to go.
Different generation for sure.
Yeah.
Did you know the guy that
Brian Taylor?
Yeah.
Brandon Taylor. I knew of him, but no, I didn't know him.
So it sounds like they were running offshore and on the following sea, and they just got.
Yeah,
it's weird that it ejected both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like that boat was on autopilot. And
Did they find the boat?
Trucking.
I don't know.
I don't think they found the boat yet.
I
don't know if it was a sea hunt either.
That's what I heard was sea hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said sea hunter, and then somebody corrected them, and it was a sea hunt. I don't know. I'm firmly against running autopilot, man. When it's rough, when it's dark, you know, I mean, fog, like no autopilot. You know, you gotta be.
I doubt it had autopilot. It's only a 26-foot or 27-foot
They
boat.
put autopilot on everything. Those sea hunts where you can just check the boxes. Yes. Oh, you want to sink? Yes. You want an inverter? Yes. You want a autopilot? Yes. Get a yes for everything. 20-something footer. I mean, it's gonna have twins or a single and put autopilot on. Why not?
Yeah.
Especially if those guys are heading for the middle grounds. You know, they make long runs.
Yeah.
Why is he just in shorts?
Following sea, man. Dangerous.
It's terrible. So many people get stuck. I see, like, Brandon keeps going out, and he's leaving at 5 a.m. I'm like, dude, it's blowing that, you know, you're running in a following sea. You're not going to know what it's going to be like for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And by then, you're going to be, 45 miles, 50 miles offshore already.
You slow down and turn around, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
What
You're
did I do?
stuck. We did one last week where it was supposed to lay out. There were some storms around. I talked to Aunt. Aunt had left at like 5. We pushed off at 6:30. I texted him on the way out in the DeLorme, and he's like, "Yeah, lays right out at 50 miles." I'm like, "All right." I had both boats we were doing 10 hours, so we were making it run. We get to 50 miles, it'll lay out. Got worse. And then kept getting worse. And our ride home was like started off at 15 knots. Miserable.
It'll lay out. Just come join me.
Like you didn't want to be alone.
We're back, Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. You can join the conversation, 1-800-969-9352. Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina, Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters, and Captain Charlie Howell from Ebb and Flow Charters. Talking fishing with you all this morning. We got Captain William Keene on the line from Crystal River. What's going on, Captain William Keene? How are you, buddy?
Doing fine. I'm not truly a captain, but I'm an old salt.
There you go. That'll work.
Captain Howell, I like the name of your charter. Do you catch more fish on the ebb or the flow when you fish?
Depends on where I'm fishing.
I love it. How you doing?
About DIYing your life jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing stopping you from adding things to your life jacket.
True.
Speaking of life jacket, to try to tell how well that life jacket works for you, just dive into water or go into a pool. Do you want to swim for 6 hours with the flotation it's offering, or would you like to be able to float without any effort? So, I think you'll buy yourself a more expensive life vest if you do that test.
That's true.
They're important. That if you don't like them, wear one that's attached to your person. But you can add all kinds of stuff to your life vest to make your life easier if you go overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the target shooters use tape to hide where a gunshot went through their target. You can buy a roll of that tape and roll out 100 foot of that red tape that would float behind you and be seen on the water very cheaply. But you can buy more expensive ones that are plastic that would float better and be more visible.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to throw out a couple tips along those lines. Wish you all the best. Now, I heard that there's going to be a sponsored Real Animals Fishing boat show with the captains. Do you remember what time that was supposed to start?
I know we have our OCC event coming up September 23rd at 7 p.m. at OCC Roadhouse, but a boat show. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But
didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it was Frank Sargent and Captain Mike teaming up for a boat show in November. So I was getting excited about that. I wanted that to be spread about. But
that would be awesome.
Show. Great show. Next time you hear these words, I hope you're saying them fish on.
You as well, buddy. Thank you so much for calling in, and I'll have to ask about that boat show thing. We'll find out for next week.
They used to have the Frank Sargent's Outdoors Expo.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do it, but that was always a good time. And there was a boat show involved, too.
Yeah. There used to be a ton of those type of events, and there's really not a lot of them anymore. It seems to have gone by the wayside. Social media has kind of taken over as the boat show instead of in-person events. But I loved the Florida Sportsman Show series. I loved and hated them at the same time because my dad and I used to do 13 a year. It was a crazy series that we would go through and trailer our booths to the different one. That's where we used to hang out.
That was a cool booth.
It was a cool booth. See if you could pull the grouper out of the rock. It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But before that, we had a booth that was like a shack, like a wooden shack, and that thing was so tall. It was a bear to travel around with, and it was a lot harder to set up. So it got easier over time with the grouper simulator.
Yeah, I forgot all about that grouper simulator. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, engineered for sure. My dad, it was cool. It was cool, and we still have that trailer. I'll see it today. It's up at the farm.
Oh yeah,
nice. Yeah. Now it's a work trailer. Different uses. So you mentioned it earlier, Captain Charlie Howell, about our sea trout workshops coming up. I posted the links in our live chat on on Facebook as well. We'll post it on YouTube live chat. The sea trout workshops are coming up. FWC had the sea trout symposium, and now they are doing these workshops. They have 19 different workshops across 10 days all over the state. The workshop coming up locally is Monday, September 15th. That's going to be in St. Pete at FWRI, or the Florida Wildlife Research Institute. That is Monday, September 15th, and it is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There's also one coming up in Apollo Beach. For those of you on the South Shore, Apollo Beach is at the Suncoast Youth Conservation Center on Dickman Road, September 16th. That's Tuesday, September 16th. Again, 6 to 8 p.m. There's one in Port Charlotte as well, if you're down there listening. Tuesday, September 16th over there at the Charlotte County Commission Chambers. So check out the link. There's also a virtual one coming up for anybody to attend Thursday, September 18th. So that's also, all of those are 6 to 8 p.m. And what they're doing is they're changing trout regulations to match what they've already done with redfish and snook, is making those micro regions. I forget how many regions there are, but it's 9. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So there's like a Tampa Bay, there's a Sarasota, there's a Charlotte Harbor. They're very, very kind of focused in different regions. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And they'll have different regulations across them generally.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how sea trout shakes out. So if you want to have your voice heard, it's always a good idea to do it early, because once they get down the road, it's hard to change it.
Yep.
So get involved early if you want to. If you have a say or a thought on sea trout management, it is important to pay attention to these workshops coming up. So thanks for the reminder, Captain Charlie.
Welcome.
And you'll be at the Monday night one coming up.
I'll be at the one at FWRI, yeah.
Nice. And as mentioned before, we got the in-person events coming up September 23rd. We'll be at OCC Roadhouse at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that one's going to be with Captain Jeff Page. It's going to be super, super exciting to have him join us from Florida Insider Fishing Report. And, man, he's an inshore legend.
Yeah, he is.
I'm excited to pick his brain a little bit myself and hang out, and we'll have plenty of great food, great drinks, and also free stuff to win. You got a chance to win some Bull Bay rods, some Ingle coolers, some other real animals and Hubbard's Marina swag. So hopefully you can join us again September 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. over there at OCC Roadhouse. Always a good time. I love that place. The food is incredible. Yeah.
We had a tournament up there,
the Wild West tournament.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool venue.
It is a great venue, and they have a lot of different stuff going on. When you go to the bathroom, they have like their event schedule, and it's every night there's something going on. From concerts to like UFC fights to bare knuckle fights to truck night, which is my favorite, truck night. Shout out to our friends over at TTP. Cool. Yeah. Tony's Total Performance, where I take my truck. They sponsor the truck night and schedule it all out, and man, some beautiful trucks.
Yeah.
Beautiful trucks.
I just put it on my calendar. I'm going to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you there. It's pretty fun. And they allow dogs in there. It's very family friendly. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's a nice spot. So check it out. Again, September 23rd, 7 to 9 p.m. at OCC Roadhouse. It's on 49th Street, just south of Ulmerton. So easy to get to as well. So coming up, we got hogfish coming up. What are you most excited for in the next couple of weeks here, Captain Steve Papen?
You know me, man. I got the kingfish tournaments coming up. We're ready to go.
So once gags and red snap are closed, you just switch right into tournament mode?
We got the new boat and everything like that. It just showed up. We got to go put it through its paces and all that good stuff.
You had that boat for Spring King of the Beach, didn't you?
No, he just got another one. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was dual row seating and all the good.
Wait, he just got a 39 contender like end of last year.
Yeah.
And this is another new one?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
So what was the reason for the change?
He wanted dual row seating.
Okay.
You know, he likes to keep it, updated and just, he uses his boats a lot.
Yeah. So does his son.
They get used a lot. Yeah. Or I should say the boat gets used a lot.
Yeah,
there you go. So in lieu of, repowering every year or whatever, he just, sell the boat and buy another one, I guess. So I don't know.
Awesome.
It wasn't always like that.
Mm-hmm.
That man's worked really hard in his life. So.
Yeah, he has.
God
And
bless
there's
him.
a lot of new boats in the tournament series. Our friends at Pro Marine, the new front runner, that's pretty legit boat too.
Yeah, for sure.
That Team Pro Marine is running. So I always love tournament day. The boats that come through there, the Dos Huevos team.
Yeah.
I don't know who that team is specifically, but man, that's a beautiful boat too.
If they gave an award in a tournament for who burns the most fuel in a day, those guys would win every time.
Really?
They just have one speed.
Yeah.
That's it.
72
it's
miles
either,
an hour.
Well, they have two. It's stop or 80. It's incredible to watch that.
Because that's a Freeman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a 42. I think it's still a 42. It might be a 47.
Yeah.
Good guys, though. I mean, real cool guys, but they don't, they fish it. They got their phones on, If there's a bite, somewhere, they're going to be there within, a very short period of time.
Well, if you can go 80 miles an hour, you'll make it there fast.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
What about you, Captain Charlie? What are you looking forward to most in the next couple weeks?
I'm looking forward to the water still cooling off and redfish getting better.
Redfish action it is.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to hopefully a good push of the mackerel and hopefully a decent showing of the kingfish, which always makes our nearshore fishery more exciting, plus the hogfish picking up. So it's an exciting time of year. Things cooling down, and offshore now we lose the gag grouper and the red snapper, but it also loses the chaos, right? All summer long, it's like, oh, red snapper open. I gotta catch me a red snapper, and now that dies down, and we can take a deep breath. We got lighter loads, more room, a little bit more of a laid back group. And now we can focus on our red grouper, our mangroves, the yellowtail, incredible bite we've been seeing. The mutton snapper last year in the cooler months, October, November, December, was
really good.
It was asimine how many we were catching.
Pretty awesome.
And I'm excited to see that as well. I'm hoping to break some records and
maybe
catch
a few zebras too.
Maybe. You never know. And
we had
some
that one
more.
in a 6 hour.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Well, I feel like in the cooler months is where we see those wahoo in super shallow water. We got an 88 pounder and like 48 foot one time.
Really?
It was crazy on a 10 hour.
That's really shallow.
He caught it on a 40 pound test spinning reel.
Wow.
Yeah. Really, really insane story.
Well, I mean, wahoos, they're just like a big kingfish. Their lactic acid builds up fast because they're sprinting. And, if you can just have enough line to maintain, being tight. Once they get to the end of that run, generally that's pretty much it. It's just like catching a big kingfish. So
I don't know. You downplay that a little bit. The wahoo run is completely different than a kingfish run.
I disagree.
You've caught too many of them.
I disagree. I mean, if you get the really big fish, so if you get one, 80 plus, those ones right there would be the equivalent of, a kingfish in the 40 plus pound range. Where
I know when we caught that like 95 pounder with Mahoney when we were filming that fishing show, the water was smoking because of how fast the monofilament was ripping through it.
Right.
I'll never forget that.
But then he gets to the end of that run. Generally, a fish like that will have 2 runs in it. It'll have a second run that's shorter, and then it's done. So you just have to maintain the integrity of keeping the hook in them and keeping the line tight.
Yeah.
And just weather the run. But other than that. Pretty easy fish to catch.
There it is. Well, don't forget to stop by the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. Ownership has changed back, or ownership hasn't changed, but management has changed back to the Hubbard family, and there's a ton of great deals. If you haven't stopped by lately, stop by and see it. It's really changed up for the better. There's a waterfront bar, great views, air-conditioned dining room, fresh seafood. They've got a killer cobia special going on right now that you don't want to miss out on. They have cobia tacos for only $15.99. with a mango chutney, which is really good. Also, an 8-ounce entree for $21.99. It comes with sides. Also, they've got bacon-wrapped sea scallops that I highly recommend you check out right now. Incredible fish spread and other appetizers. The Captain's platter is my favorite. Got a little bit of everything in there. You can get it broiled, blackened, or fried. And it's a really, really great restaurant right inside Fish Famous Johns Pass. They also offer to cook your catch, so you can stop by there after a trip with Hubbard's Marina or Captain Steve Papen and Fintastic Fishing Charters. You can stop by after your own trip and get your fish cooked up fresh at the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. So stop by today, and don't forget to check them out, friendlyfisherman.com, to see the menu and all the different great specials. And also follow them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff as well. We will be right back at the Real Animals Radio Show. We got one more small segment. Don't go anywhere. We're wrapping things up on the other side.
The Friendly Fisherman downstairs bar area got completely waxed, and the bar got knocked down and everything, and our dock got destroyed.
Yeah.
So after the hurricane, my dad drove us all crazy because he's like, "Oh, you got to get everything out of the water." So that Friday after the storm, we're down there investigating all the damage, and there's just shit floating everywhere. So we spent frickin' 8 hours going around and just picking random shit out of the water and wood and all this stuff. We had these piles of wood in the parking lot on top of, because it was 6 foot of sand in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so we had this huge sand drift, and we're just piling all this wood on it. So we get all this shit out of the water, which was great, but then we had to keep moving this fucking wood pile because we had to get all the sand out. So we get all the sand out, then we move the wood, then we get all the sand out of there, then we move the wood, then we'd have to blow, so then we'd move the wood again. So we kept moving all this wood. So annoying, all the scrap that we had to keep moving. But we used all that scrap wood to rebuild stuff.
Nice.
So the dock boards that got torn out, we replaced them with new boards, but all the dock boards that got ripped up that were still good, we were cutting them and using them.
Okay.
So the bar, the Friendly Fisherman, the actual bar is built with the Hubbard's Marina main dock.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It was a pain in the ass,
I
but
can imagine.
it was all said and done. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta
so-
make it back over there. I haven't been. Well, no, I guess we've been. No, we haven't been back this year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a little trip over there a couple times a year just to.
It's a fun place to staycation, right? Spend a night or just visit if you're driving distance, because there's so much cool stuff in the pass.
Oh yeah.
And they have the Village Fridays. Last night was Heroes Night. It was pretty cool. They did Touch a Truck. So they had all these different big trucks, like the emergency response vehicles. They had a SWAT truck there. They had the Florida State Guard trucks there. A lot of the high water response trucks. So all these kids were over there just to touch a truck. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of events like that.
It's crazy how quick that stuff came back in there.
What?
Just the pass in general.
It was.
Really
We were
was
open
resilient.
5 days after Helene.
Just
5
a
days.
resilient place.
Oh, yeah.
Just, you know, the people who just own their spots, like you killed it down there, dude. Like, you commend the hell out of you for everything you did down there. You did
It was
great.
a team. It was a team.
It
for sure.
was, but every team needs a quarterback, and even in your short shorts, you were walking around doing your stuff. I mean, you had everybody getting it
You
done.
can move quicker in the shorter shorts.
I guess that might have been it. You know what really surprised me is how Don's just, it's like a brick through that. I don't understand it.
Mhm.
How could that place survive? It's so old.
Yeah.
You've been underneath that.
Jason, the way he came in and reshored that dock up, really, I give him a lot of credit. The fact that it survived, it was pretty impressive. And that house that he
That
built,
dock was underwater at least 10 times in the time that I worked there.
Mhm.
And nothing. You barely ever lose a board.
you don't have wave indentation there. So like at Hubbard's with Helene, the boardwalk was damaged. because the wave action was so rough. It was hitting that building, hitting the back of our main
Do you
office.
still have it down there? Because I remember being inside and feeling the whole dock come up and then land on the pilings.
Yeah, but it swells. It's not the breakers, you know. So it's a little bit different.
No, right.
We're back, Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. Captain Steve Papen from Fly 'em High Charters, Captain Charlie Howell from Ebb and Flow Charters. Sorry, I don't know where I got that. Bobby Woodard is Fly 'em High Charters. So I started with the F, and I don't know where I went. Fantastic Fishing Charters, Captain Steve Papen. Sorry. Big shout out to Bobby. Yeah, he was here last week. I made it through the whole show without messing it up, so give me a little bit of credit.
I think we've known each other for a good bit of time. I'm pretty sure.
That doesn't stop me from messing things up.
All right, well,
just because we've known each other for a while.
I've never messed up Hubbard's.
Well,
whatever.
I apologize.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Maybe you can forgive me one day. Weather-wise, we're on a quarter moon weekend, a little bit of a upper level disturbance, so we've got a little bit more moderate wind, moderate seas through the weekend through the coming work week. Hopefully calming down this upcoming weekend for that new moon at the end of next weekend. Tides are a little slow right now, but should be picking up through the week. Water temps have come down a lot. Things are moving. Fish are starting to transition into more of that cooler fall time, winter time pattern. Even though it is middle of September, we're starting to see a lot of those shifts already. This weather update is brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors, Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for a warranty when you sell your home, and that warranty will transfer to the new owner, adding value to your home. Hopefully, you can visit them online at reesewindows.com for more info. Don't forget again, September 23rd, 7 p.m., we got the OCC Roadhouse event. Captain Jeff Page is our special guest, talking fishing. He's an inshore specialist, specifically redfish. He's been on the tournament trail forever. He's part of Florida Insider Fishing Report, knows a lot. So hopefully you can join us 7 to 9 p.m., September 23rd at OCC Roadhouse. All right, Captain Charlie, how would you reach you if you wanted to book a charter with Ebb and Flow Charters over there on the Gandy Boat Ramp?
You could go on my website, ebbandflowcharters.com, or give me a call is probably the best way, or text me, 813-598-1191.
Nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming this morning and
thanks for having me,
fishing
man.
with us.
Yeah.
What about you, Captain Steve Papen at Fintastic Fishing Charters?
.com.
FantasticFishingCharters.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and TikTok. He's big on TikTok.
Here we go. It's all the time with you and your TikTok.
I'm just jealous. You got a bigger TikTok than me. I'll get there one day. Trying to catch up. You know, big time TikTok guy over there.
Here we go. 727-642-3411.
You got a TikTok?
What's a TikTok? That's a clock, right? That's the thing on the wall that does this.
You got to talk to Steve. He's dialed in.
Listen, if you got a 16, 17-year-old daughter, you have to know what TikTok is. And when they challenge you and say no one will watch your stuff because you're old, you got to prove them wrong.
That's when you do one of those stupid dances, right?
Yeah. I mean,
if he had one of those,
if I had one of those,
I would be promoting his TikTok channel a lot more often.
I think Dylan would definitely hit the like button for sure.
100%.
Do the robot.
Thank you for being a part of our Real Animals family. Hopefully you'll catch us tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on 620 WBAE. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Again, 7 to 9, or 7, excuse me. Man, I'm losing it. 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday morning on News Radio 970 WFLA. And don't forget, live stream show every Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. on the Hubbard's Marina and Real Animals Facebook. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being a part of our Real Animals family.
The program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Appreciate you guys listening on the live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy, ran out of time there on the radio, but appreciate you tuning in and watching on the streams, y'all. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we'll see you again next week, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night for that live stream show, 7:30 p.m. Tight lines, y'all. We're out.
See it. And thank you, John.